It's a topic that every Vancouver Canucks fan loves to talk about and give their own opinions on. The Utica Comets. Because they're the NHL, AHL affiliate for the Vancouver Canucks. This is our development team. This is the team that our prospects are supposed to go to after they finish up their minor careers, develop before eventually becoming NHL talents. But aside from guys like Thatcher Demko, Jacob Markstrom, and a few other guys, the Comets haven't actually really developed any consistent NHL players with the Canucks yet. At least ones that are actually stars. Sure, some guys like Adam Gaudette were there for a little bit, but the Canucks haven't had a player who really spent a few years with the Comets before eventually becoming a full-time NHLer, again, aside from the two goalies. A lot of this has to do with the certain coaching that the Utica Comets have right now. In fact, the most recent season of play saw guys like Boucher, Kiro, McEwen, who is very good by the way, Gauntz, McEnany, and Jonathan Dahlen, who got traded, as their top guys for points. But the guys that people wanted to see succeed and develop in Utica, the prospects from before who were dominating their own leagues respectively, Jonah Gadjovich, Kole Lind, and Petrus Palmu, these three had pretty unsuccessful first years with the Utica Comets. And people were taking a look at their development and saying, okay, Palmu is gone. He straight up left and went to Finland. Kole Lind only had 17 points in 51 games and a lot of bottom six ice time. Jonah Gadjovich didn't get that many points either. And even going back into the past, hey, what happened to Hunter Shinkaruk? That guy didn't do well in the NHL at all. Jake Virtanen was a Utica Comet for a season, but he's not necessarily super good at the NHL either. What's going on with Utica? What is this problem that we have with our development? So a lot of people like to blame the coach, they like to blame the ice time, they like to blame the whole idea between playing veteran guys, because that's been brought up a few times throughout the past year, that the Utica Comets like to rely on some of their older mid-20s guys rather than their younger prospects, because the younger prospects don't have the capabilities that the older guys do. Now, you have two different perspectives on that. Either A, hell yeah, ice the best team you can if you're the Utica Comets, because the Comets' goal is to win, right? And you have a better chance of winning if you play those more experienced, older guys who aren't good enough to be in the NHL, but who are good enough to be first-line AHLers, rather than the young 20-year-olds who just came out of the WHL. And that makes sense. If you want to win, do that. But in my opinion, the AHL isn't about winning. The AHL is about developing prospects. And prospects don't develop if they're only given 10 minutes of ice time per night. But that's just my opinion. There are a whole bunch of other opinions out there. People have their own things to say about Utica all the time. But I wanted to bring up some of these quotes here shared by Jeff Patterson on Twitter. Actually, talking about Trent Cull and some of Trent Cull's comments about the upcoming Utica Comets season. The Utica Comets, there was a disappointing finish to last season, but there was an early start on personnel changes as far as who's coming into play, etc. What's the initial confidence level going into this season? Trent Cull says this: I'm excited. I like some of the depth signings Vancouver made. From the outside in and looking at Vancouver, they have a glut of forwards. Hopefully that turns into a glut of forwards for us. You might get an opportunity to see some players in Utica who, maybe, we wouldn't normally see. So that could be a good thing for us. Some of the replies here talking about, hey, play the kids, Trent. Some of the other replies are talking about other players, but in general, this is an interesting comment here. Because there could be some speculation as to whether or not the Comets would look at playing guys like Kole Lind in a higher role. Maybe Jonah Gadjovich gets another look. Maybe Petrus Palmu comes back. But this could also potentially just be looking at some of the AHL depth signings the Canucks have made. Justin Bailey, Tyler Graovac, maybe even the odd Loui Eriksson or Tim Schaller, who knows? But the bottom line here is that Trent Cull is open to the idea of the Utica Comets playing different players in different roles and playing some of these newer guys. So, if there's hope for Utica in terms of developing our prospects that we have in the system now to eventually become NHL players, NHL stars, then I hope it comes soon. Because Kole Lind was touted as a top 6 player like 2 years ago. People were so happy with Kole Lind, and he was amazing in his Draft Plus 1. But now Kole Lind is in that Hunter Shinkaruk-like boat, where he's going to be fighting for NHL potential just within the next few months here with the Comets. And if Trent Cull is going to be willing to give that ice time to a guy like Kole Lind, then I really, really hope that he's able to fulfill that, because he's a guy with a great skill set, and I would love to see that in a Vancouver jersey one day. As for the rest of the comments though, comment down below what you think. I know it's a very, very heated topic every time I bring it up. People always have their very strong-willed opinions about Trent Cull in the comment system, but I'm looking forward to seeing those in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.